Hi everyone, welcome to our video, welcome to our channel. Today we will continue with the variation. Last time we talked about the direct and inverse variation, and today we're going to find the third, fourth, mean and the continued proportion. What is the ratio first of all? We talked about the ratio before. The ratio is the relation between two quantities. And what is the proportion? Proportion is the equivalence of two ratios. So today we're going to start with the third, fourth, mean and continued proportion. Let's get it started. So we're now familiar with the quantities. If quantities A, B, C and D are in a proportion, like A to B is equal, this means equal C to D, then we know that the product of extremes equals with the product of means. So what is the third proportional? If three quantities A, B and C are related as A to B equals B to C, then C is called the third proportion. Let's see an example. Find the third proportional of x plus y and quadratic x minus quadratic y. Let's see be the third proportional, right? I know that the third proportional is written in this way, A to B equals B to C, and I have to find the third proportional. So I have x plus y, that is my A, and my B is quadratic x minus quadratic y. So let's write it this way then. This is A, x plus y, to quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon, quadratic y equals, with my B that is still quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon to C. So I have to find the C, but I know that the product of extremes equals with the product of means. So these here are my extremes, and these are my means. So the product of extremes, so I have to write C times x plus y equals with the product of means. So quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon times quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon. And if I continue, I can write that C equals quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon times quadratic x minus quadratic epsilon over x plus y. And in the end, I'll find that C equals x plus y times x minus y all in quadratic. This is how we find the third proportion. Let's start with the fourth proportional then. If two quantities A, B, C and D are related as A to B equals C to D, then D is called the fourth proportional. Let's see an exercise for this. Find the fourth proportional of A to the power 3 minus B to the power 3 and A plus B and A to the power 2 plus AB plus B to the power 2. Let x be the fourth proportional. So now we know that A to B equals C to D. So this is my A, this is my B, this is my C, and I have to find the D because the exercise says find the fourth proportional, right? So I can write in this case that A to B, so A to the power 3 minus B to the power 3 to A plus B, this is my B, I'm talking about this B, equals with C, that is A to the power 2 plus AB plus B to the power 2 to x. One more time, I know that the product of extremes equals with the product of means. So these are my two extremes. So the product of extremes, I have to write x times A to the power 3 minus B to the power 3 equals with the product of means. These are my means, A plus B times A to the power 2 plus AB plus B to the power 2. And if I continue, I will write that x equals A plus B, so this thing here, times A to the power 2 plus AB plus B to the power 2 over A to the power 3 minus B to the power 3. So now here is multiplication and I move it to the right as division. And in the end, if you see like I have to simplify these two here, and in the end I'll have that x equals A plus B over A minus B. Don't worry, I think that maybe when you just listen it at the beginning you might get scared, but you have to get used to it because we will do a lot of exercises and I'm pretty sure that you'll understand the third, fourth proportion even better. Let's have a look at the mean proportional. If three quantities A, B and C are related as A to B equals B to C, then B is called the mean proportional. So this B here is called the mean proportional. Let's see an exercise. Find the mean proportional of 9p to the power 6, q to the power 4 and r to the power 8. Let's M be the mean proportional. So I know the form now and I can easily write 9 times p to the power 6, q to the power 4 to m, because m is my mean proportional, equals m to r to the power 8. So this is my A, this is my C, and m in this case is my B. You see? This is my mean proportional. One more time, I know that the product of extremes equals with the product of means. So I have the right to write that the product of extremes 9p to the power 6, q to the power 4 times r to the power 8 equals with the product of means. So m times m equals m to the power 2. And in the end, I'll find that m equals plus minus 3p to the power 3, q to the power 2, r to the power 4. Why is it plus and minus? Because m is to the power 2. So I have two values, one negative value and one positive value. So I have to write plus minus in this case. So be very careful. The last thing that I'm going to teach in this section is continued proportion. So, if three quantities A, B and C are related as A to B equals B to C, and A is first, B is mean, and C is the third proportional, then A, B and C are in continued proportion. Let's see an exercise. Find P if 12, P and 3 are in a continued proportion. I know that the form of continued proportion is A to B equals B to C. So I can write 12 to P equals P to 3. And if I continue again with the same rule that the product of means equals with the product of extremes, I have to write that P times P, so these are my means, so the product of means is P times P, equals 12 times 3, and all equals P to the power 2 equals 36. It is to the power 2, so I have two values, one negative and one positive. So P equals plus minus 6. Okay, the exercises in the page 58, take it as a homework, please. I'm going to solve some exercises for you to make it clear too. So let's start with the first exercise. He says, find a third proportional to 6 and 12. So, I have to find the third proportional. And I have 6 and 12. So this is my A and this is my B. I know that the third proportional form is A to B equals B to C. So you can, yes. So I have to find the third proportional. So C is my third proportional. I know that the product of extremes equals with the product of means. So I have the right to say the product of means equals with the product of extremes. So I have the right to say in this case that 6 to 12 equals with a 12 to C. Let's call it C, the third proportional that I have to find. So in this case, I can write 6C because the product of extremes, so 6 times C, 6C, equals with the product of means. So it's 12 times 12, 12 times 12. I can divide by 6 in this case. And here is just 2. And C equals 24. This is my third proportional in the exercise number 1. Okay? Let's take another example. Let's find the fourth proportional to 5, 8, and 15 in the second exercise. So find the fourth proportional to 5, 8, and 15. Okay? So I have to find the fourth proportional, and I have 5, 8, and 15. So in this case, I know the form is A to B equals C to D. So D is my fourth proportional, so I have to find the D. So I have to write 5 to 8 equals 15 to D. I have to find the D. This is my fourth proportional. So I know one more time that the product of means equals with the product of extremes. So I can write that 5D, the product of extremes, equals 8 times 15 with the product of means. I can divide by 5 in this case, and I'll have only 3 here. D equals 24. Okay? This is my fourth proportional in this case. One more exercise about the mean proportional. Let's see exercise number 3. Find a mean proportional between 20 and 45, for example. Let's have a look. I have to find the mean proportional, and I have 20 and 45. What can I do in this case? So I can write that I know the form that is A to B equals B to C, and I have to find the mean proportional. My mean proportional is this B here. You can call it also X, it's totally fine. So in this case, I can write that 20 to X maybe, let's change it a little bit, equals X to 45 in this case. Never forget, the product of extremes equals with the product of means, so I can write X times X equals 20 times 45, X to the power 2 equals 900. Be careful, it's X to the power 2, so I have two values, one positive value and one negative value. So I have to write X equals plus minus the square root of 900, and X in the end equals plus minus 30. This is my mean proportional in this case, between 20 and 45. One more exercise, the last one. Exercise number 4. Find the values of the letter involved in the following continued proportions. So be careful, it's continued proportion. And I'm going to solve the exercise number 1 here, 5p and 45. In this case, I have a continued proportional. So, P and 45, okay? I know that the form in this case is A to B to B to C, okay? And always, you should be very careful, the product of means equals with the product of extremes, so in this case I can write 5 to B equals 45, 45 P to 45, because it's A to B, B to C, okay? So, this is, what should we do? 5 times 45 equals P P times P. Because the product of means equals with the product of extremes, so P to the power 2 equals 5 times 45. P equals plus or minus the square root of 225, and P equals plus or minus 50 in this case. Okay? Well, thank you for watching our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.